Well, it's time to call in now and get your medical questions answered. Dr. Zorba Paster standing by at 270-9933. But first, a possible link between high blood pressure and an increased risk of cognitive impairment later in life.
This study from the American Heart Association suggests treating hypertension may reduce the cognitive impact of high blood pressure. Dr. Zorba is with us from his office in Oregon. And Dr. Zorba, this is a pretty interesting study.
Oh, I think it's a very important study. You know, when we look at people with dementia, we have to look at it, we always often call it Alzheimer's disease, but Alzheimer's disease is really, for many people, a non-technical, broad term, and dementia is the right term to use. Half of it is Alzheimer's, we don't know exactly what causes it, and the other half happens to be due to cardiovascular disease. The same thing that can cause hardening of the arteries in the heart can cause strokes and can cause differences in the arteries in the brain. And this particular study showed that getting your blood pressure under control will help you think better later in life. And I think that's really the very important part of this. And the reason why it's important is about 1/3 of the people with blood pressure do not have their blood pressure under good control. These are people who are taking their medications. About 1/4 of the people who have high blood pressure don't even know it, don't even get screened, and don't take their medications. When you add all these numbers together, 40% of the people with high blood pressure are not treated effectively. And yet we have great medications today. We have medicines that have hardly any side effects at all. So the bottom line of the study is get your blood pressure checked. If you're going to get treated, make sure you're treated even if it takes 2 or 3 or 4 medications, because you'll be able to think better when you're older. And that's what really counts.
Know your numbers. That's the key.
Know your numbers, and then even though it may be another pill, you know, I have people come in my office and they go, I don't want to take another pill. And I think, wait a minute, this pill is not expensive, doesn't have side effects, and you don't want to swallow another pill? Yes, it's good if it keeps your blood pressure under good control.
All right, you ready for some calls?
I am.
Let's start with Dory in Madison. Hi, Dory. What's your question for Dr. Paster?
Hi. My little guy started school for the first time. He's 4 years old. Had a cold that second week, and it subsided, but now it's turned into a dry cough. Kind of, he doesn't feel under the weather. He's pretty resilient, but this little dry hack is hanging on. Sure. I wanted to go mild at home with something natural, like a remedy, and, you know, see if, you know, it would just kind of clear that cough out, but now I'm starting to wonder. What's your advice?
Oh, I think that's a great idea. I think home remedies are great when it comes to colds and sore throats. What we know is that over-the-counter cough syrup such as Robitussin might help. You want to really stay away, though, from anything stronger than that. And I think a little bit of honey and hot tea or something of that nature would work. Most of these are viral, so antibiotics don't do anything. And we know that we give out too many antibiotics as it is. So keep on doing what you're doing. You're a great mom, and a 4-year-old tyke going to school. How wonderful is that?
You're going to pick some things up at school.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to happen.
You bet. You bet.
All right, let's go to Kevin in Janesville with a question. Go ahead, Kevin. What's on your mind?
Hi, doctor. I was wondering, I'm 60 years old, and I've had problems with my nails breaking easily. It used to be just in the wintertime, but in the last year or two, I've gotten, like, ripples on a couple of them, and they'll split down the nail, and they break easy.
Kevin, I've got a question for you. Who does the dishes in your house?
Oh, I do, and it's, you know, soapy water.
You do?
Real hot soapy water.
That's right. Do you wear gloves when you do the dishes?
No.
That's what you need. That's the thing. It turns out that the dishwashing detergent can actually ruin nails. And the best thing you can do to strengthen the nails is stop washing your hands in dishwashing detergent. Get some wonderful rubber gloves, make it hot soapy water, and stop ruining your nails, and keep on cleaning your dishes, because your wife will be much happier. I didn't say stop doing the dishes. I can hear those smiles. I said wear gloves when you're doing the dishes. I don't want to step into any marital discord here. Just wear the gloves.
Yeah, I would not. That's good advice. Let's go to Lori in Highland.
We'll leave it at that.
Lori, what's your question?
Doctor. Hi, doctor. I'm 50 years old, and I have a question about my throat. I have the constant, like it feels like a lump in the back of my throat, and I'm constantly clearing my throat. My ENT would like to do a test, the 24-hour monitoring test. I don't really want to do that. I've never had acid reflux. You might think it's that, but I don't have any heartburn whatsoever with it, but it's just a constant clearing of the throat.
First of all, you might have acid reflux. Are you on any medications at all? Any meds that you're taking? Okay,
No.
the reason I mention is some blood pressure medicines called ACE inhibitors can produce a dry cough. Acid reflux, you don't need a test. All you need to do is do a trial. Get Prilosec, over-the-counter generic, 20 milligrams, once a day in the morning on an empty stomach, once in the evening before you go to sleep. Try that. So once a day in the morning, once in the evening, 2 tablets a day. Give it 6 to 8 weeks and see what that does. A lot of this is acid reflux, and the only symptom you have is a chronic cough. You don't need a test. I would just try the medicine. It's an inexpensive, over-the-counter medication now. Try it and see what it does.
All right. Good advice as always, everyone. Thanks for calling in. We're out of time. Zorba, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks,
Take
Zorba.
care.